This is Wristbands, and for today we're looking at a really affordable field watch option from the American brand Timex. Every man definitely has a few of these, needs at least a pair of this, walk around in these, look cool with these, and of course, complete his look with something like this. The influence of military culture in our modern lives is simply an undeniable fact. So if t-shirts and chinos and desert boots and aviators and bomber jackets, along with a lot of other modern things born out of the demands in the field, have made their way into our day-to-day essentials, should it go without saying that a field watch should be a staple in every man's watch collection? I strongly agree. But until very recently, I thought that owning a field watch with true tales of battle to share meant looking into the more valued veterans. I'd love to add that benders for sure, but not even the US government I guess would have considered their watches for standard issue back then if they had cost relatively as much as they charge us, modern day collectors. This is my first ever Timex watch. My ignorance in this hobby led me to totally dismiss the American brand and to believe that this camper never found its way under the cuffs of any notable bomber jacket except for the one that has become this guy's signature. But costing less than $40, I was determined to dig deeper into the camper's history, trying to find the slightest connection it may have with military service in order to put my horological sense in a purchase that I was so eager to make. If I went for the right resources, the camper story would bring us all the way back to the rise of perhaps the most iconic American watch of the Second World War, the A11. Manufactured at the time by Elgin, Waltham, and Bulova, these military service timepieces had to conform to a very definitive set of specifications. A 15-jewel hacking hand-wand movement with a sweeping central seconds hand, a black dial with white indices and an outer minute track that had 10-minute demarcations, a smaller case typically measuring 32mm in diameter and made from some kind of non-corrosive metal, an unbreakable acrylic crystal, a notched crown, and a one-piece strap. That design would later evolve as required by Military Specification 3818A to sport a slightly larger 34mm case, a more reliable movement, 12 and 24-hour markings on the dial, and the use of cathedral hands. Those changes were first to be seen in 1958 with this release from Bulova. Revision 3818B would shortly follow in the 1960s to guide the creation of a watch that would pass the military's updated testing standards. The newer specifications would also detail for a new set of features: a 17-jewel hacking movement with extended service life, a white set of hands that matched the markers, and finally, those familiar triangular lume applications on the dial. Benrus would be the sole brand to win a contract for the manufacture of those watches, bringing forth the DTU, which would pretty much be the template for field watches in the years to come. A growth in demand for American troops in the Vietnam War led to the publication of Military Specification 46374, detailing the blueprint for a cheaper disposable watch that inherited most of the 3818B's design. This set of new standards would adapt 7 revisions from its publication in 1964 all the way through 1999, encompassing watches that featured both mechanical and quartz movements, coming in both metal and plastic cases. Over the years, several brands would be commissioned for the production of those pieces, including the likes of Benrus, Hamilton, Westclocks, Marathon, Stocker Neal, and of course Timex. Out of those amendments, 46374 Revision B of 1975 would be of most relevance to this review for being the only military contract that Timex ever won, and one that would lead to the birth of the Mark I, a throwaway piece in the true literal sense, featuring a quartz movement housed in a resin case with a non-removable case back. Although having a very short production run of only 2 months in 1982, the Mark I is a true mil-spec watch that would later serve as reference for several future issues from the brand, including the Camper 36. Despite the upgrade with the now serviceable stainless steel case, the Camper inherits most of its ascendant's attributes, from the accuracy inherent in the quartz movement to the dial design, domed acrylic crystal, similar case dimensions, and fixed lugs, while remaining at a price point that is proportionately affordable with its time. A pricing trend that we never see other brands take on with their very own reissues. For $40, This watch presents itself as a really handsome vintage-inspired piece, powered by a fairly accurate movement with proven reliability, a more than decent level of case finishing, a friendly wrist presence that's somewhat faithful to the original, and a real military account to boot. I still would love to own that Penrose DTU if I'm being honest, but for now, this cheap Timex makes me one truly happy camper. My apologies for taking much of your time, considerably geeking out too much on the origins of a watch that some may even see no point in considering. But without that much to spend, finding fascination in horological history is a cheap means to this hobby that makes me just as happy. I really hope you found the video interesting. Please let me know in the comment section below if I screwed up on any of the facts that I tried to present. See you in the next video.